So yeah, guys, we got multiple days of severe weather, as you see by the title. And I will just be showing you where it is. And we also got stuff with the tropics. Let's actually go over the tropics real quick. Off in the Atlantic, we have a possible tropical development chance. It has a 50% chance of developing in the next 7 days. And that will be for the areas like the Bahamas, all of the Bahamas actually, almost all of Cuba, a little tiny place of the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. I'm just naming what's in this cone. We have Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And we also have half of Florida in this. I would say if you're mainly... We need the hurricane to... I'm hoping it doesn't spawn, but if it does spawn and turns into something major, like a tropical storm, I really won't live stream that. But if it turns into a hurricane, I will go live for if it impacts the USA. For Puerto Rico, I'm kind of sorry, Puerto Rico. I know you get your little radar coverage here, which is pretty good, but I need like a few radars to deal with. Like, see, as Florida has a lot of radars around, I need that many radars. But like Miami, Key West, Port St. Lucie, Orlando, Tampa, Cape Coral, Daytona Beach. I would even include Jacksonville in this. Be careful. I know I watched Ryan Holloway's video, and apparently it's supposed to, if some does develop, it's going to happen around Mobile, Alabama. It's going to like impact Mobile, Alabama, and Gulfport. That might have changed. But let's go to the real threat right now. These two. This one really ain't a threat. This is just... I don't know where this one is going to try to go, but for now, this one is not that big of a threat as this one is. This one's more than likely going to develop in the next 7 days and possibly be what's after Hurricane Bud. Tropical Storm Bud that we just had impacting kind of the same area. It could go up into California, which I totally doubt it. More than likely just going to continue out to sea. This one, though, is kind of a concerning one. If this one ends up growing, it could go up to Hawaii or the southern Hawaii and cause... Because this is kind of the same type of... This one right here is kind of the same little type of setup as the Category 4 hurricane that went just south of Hawaii and then caused the raging wildfires over in Maui. Ended up raging over here in this little area and became a very big wildfire. And then knocked powers out for a whole bunch of people. But these two would be a threat. This one's definitely a threat for now. That's pretty much all the tropical activity I have to say. So yes, guys, we do got severe weather, sadly. And also, my freaking radar is down. The Wilmington radar shut off about 9 o'clock last night. But that really ain't no biggie, because I got the little Troy radar to deal with. But if you look at this, as you see, we got a little severe weather, slight risk for majority of South Dakota, a little part of North Dakota, and a little part of Nebraska. But we also have another slight risk for Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. This upper part also comes with a 2% tornado risk, which ain't that high, but it's still there. Some tornadoes could be possible. I know there was one tornado just like right here. There was one tornado warning yesterday for a 2% tornado risk. This includes just mainly the slight risk up here, but it goes a little bit farther into like mainly including all of Indiana on this one, a little bit of Michigan, includes the Chicago area, a little bit of Wisconsin, most of Illinois, most of Kentucky, a little bit of Tennessee, a little bit of Missouri, and then a little tiny portion of Ohio, which doesn't really include me, but kind of does. As we see now, tomorrow, which could change, who knows, but we have a slight risk going from Iowa all the way down to about Illinois, including a little bit of Missouri. And then we got this big old marginal risk, which of course goes down to from the Atlantic all the way up to Canada. So it includes a whole lot of people, over probably 5 million people, I would say. Once again, the tornado threat is relatively low, but it's still there. There is a 2% tornado risk for portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, mainly all of Iowa. See, I get these two states mixed up. Idaho and Iowa, they sound the same. Iowa, Illinois, and a little tiny bit of Missouri, and I would say a little bit of Michigan and Indiana too. If we look at Wednesday, which is the 31st, we have a slight risk up from Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. And then, of course, this big marginal risk, which expands from Canada all the way down to about Ohio, which is going to be interesting to see because they say there is a possible isolated tornado for my area. So we'll see what happens that day. Guys, it wouldn't be a weather video without the rainfall. So as you see, we got a little bit of rainfall that's going to happen in the marginal risk, but there could be some flooding concerns over in this general area. And at the end of the video, I will show you I'll put their account in the description, but I will show you the flooding that happened over in Dollywood yesterday. Dollywood's about right, don't know where that is, that's right near Sevierville, which is right here. See, Dollywood's right here, and Pigeon Forge and Gallenberg's down here, Sevierville's right there. There was flooding down there. Of course, it was flooding all over the place, but flooding mainly happened there. But if you're in the slight risk, which includes that same area that had flooding yesterday, please be prepared for possible heavy downpours. I know probably gonna be some heavy downpours. And yeah, I also did forget about a little marginal risk over here, which I think just got put in for New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware, which that probably doesn't have a tornado threat, so I don't even want to check. And then we also got, of course, the typical flooding over here, which ain't really high today. Mainly going to be scorching heat over there, wildfires, and then we got a little rainfall from tropical stuff going on down here. So yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday the 30th, there could be some flooding once again. This time the marginal risk goes up a little bit. And then the marginal risk includes a whole bunch of Ohio, mainly all of Ohio. But as you can see, this slight risk goes along the Appalachian Mountains from Tennessee all the way up to Pennsylvania. There could be some possible flooding. And same with over here in Arizona and New York. You could see some flooding over there too. And then, of course, typical tropical moisture over here. Don't need to get into that. If we look at the day 3 rainfall amount, there could be some storms up here that produces heavy rain up in the New England area, but our main focus is back over here, where there could be some possible flooding issues from Phoenix Falls all the way over to about Chicago, and then anywhere in the region here could see some flooding. Anywhere out here could also see some flooding. And then we don't even need to get into that. Hey, Florida's marginal risk went away, but we don't need to get into this. This is just gonna stay here forever. Fire risk for today. There is a elevated risk over in Idaho, including Twin Falls and Idaho Falls. There is a elevated risk for Montana that includes Great Falls, Shelby, and Harvey. There's also another risk over here in a little bit of Nevada and portions of Utah, which includes St. George. So just watch out for those possible fires that can start anytime over in these areas. There's not going to be much fire related the next day besides isolated dry thunderstorms up in Idaho and Montana. But I think fires are going to be relatively low that day. I'm not saying like it could not happen though. There could be some fires. I know there's already fires raging in this general area right here, and then over here there's some fires. A lot of fires up here, and a lot of fires over here. So yeah, just be careful if you're going out and about in these areas for the scorching heat. Stay hydrated if you are going out in the Pacific area. Just stay hydrated. Avoid like places that have do not cross on them, or if you see a fire truck going to those places, don't go to it, because more than likely there's probably a 80% chance they're going to stop a fire if they have their lights on over at like the place you're trying to go to. So if you're going to a state park, like I would say, don't go. I know there's a big old wildfire in this general area right here. Don't go there. That includes Berry Creek and Pugla. So yeah. So I'm not going to be focusing on Arizona, New Mexico, or Florida today, because they're usually the ones who get the storm. I'm going to be focusing on this general area. So as you see, right now there is heavy rainfall over here. There is going to be, in the next 3 hours, there's going to be possibly 2.54 inches of rain that have fallen. That could cause flooding concerns over in Illinois and Iowa. There's also some up here. And if you're hearing stuff about a derecho, there was a derecho possible last night. I don't know if it's still possible right now. Might be, might not. If it is, it's coming directly towards me, which sucks because I got my weather station out there and I don't know how much winds that can hold. But let's continue to look. There could be some possibly heavy downfall of rain over in the Columbus area. But let's look at each state individually. What I mean by that is each little region. So as you see, this is where storms are going to be popping off. As you see, if we scroll past Monday at 7 p.m., there could be some isolated to strong rainstorms / thunderstorms over in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska. That's where we got that little slight risk there. And then if we continue it on, that's going to move down. And then there could be possibly even more. Tuesday around 11 p.m., there could be some heavy rain in Nebraska. Possibly a thunderstorm in Nebraska. If we continued on, we have this little disturbance up here, which I don't know if that's going to turn into something around Wednesday at 8 a.m. It could. But the part I want to be focused on right now is this. Let's go back to about right now. We got that little rain shower thunderstorm over here in Illinois and then up into Wisconsin. If we look up here, though, there could be possibly, like I said, flooding concerns. Let's continue pushing it along. See, up here, Monday around 5 p.m., Chicago and Kenosha, you may start to feel some heavy rain, maybe even some hail. Probably rain. But then if we continue on with the severe weather, I did not want to click on this. How do I get this away? Did I not want to click on this? Hold on, I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh right there real quick. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. The really weird thing that just happened. That little pop-up screen down below popped up. But yeah, if we look up here today at about 9 a.m., which is 9 a.m. right now, there could be some possibly flooding concerns and thunderstorms up in Wisconsin this morning. And, of course, down here in Illinois, happened again. What? Oh, I'm clicking on cities. That's what I'm doing. Hold on. No, I'm not. Bro, I don't want to click on cities. No. Dude, sorry. This is actually making me frustrated. We're just going to have that there and just pretend that's not there, okay? Just pretend that's not there. So if we continue on through... Whoa. If we continue on through the portion of the day over in this general area, there could be some, like I said, thunderstorms over here. Some heavy rain. I don't know if these are going to be possibly supercells or if they're going to be thunderstorms. Who knows? They might not. All depends. And then if we continue on over in this region, like I said, those are the thunderstorms. There could be some more thunderstorms entering the area at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Could be some possibly heavy rain, maybe even a thunderstorm in Iowa around 4 a.m. tomorrow. And then as we continue on, see that ends up going into majority of Iowa. Then we could have a little other disturbance here in Iowa, but that's really not much. But then as you see, it looks like 10 p.m. tomorrow, Iowa, you could be under the gun for some heavy downpours, maybe a tornado or two, depends on if this changes. If we continue it on, as you see, there is a big thunderstorm that's going to be heavy rainfall over in Illinois, 12 a.m. Wednesday. This could change. And then, like I said, we got these little supercell looking things. If we pull it on, that's going to be going into a little bit of Missouri, too. We have a little bit of another disturbance in Iowa. And then Illinois is just going to continue on. Look at the Iowa storms. Iowa is the place that storms are actually trying to form. Iowa and Missouri. And then Illinois, if we look at, let's look at Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and Kentucky. Let's see what those areas have to say. So, Illinois, as you see, we're already having the severe thunderstorms in Illinois right now. Possibly a severe thunderstorm up here, which I already discussed. Possibly some thunderstorms in Ohio later today, maybe up in the Cleveland area. If you look, there could be possibly heavy rainfall in Ohio. But as you see, it doesn't start in Ohio till later today, tonight. Illinois, it's going to be happening for you a lot. But Ohio, I would say down here near West Union, Peebles, Sinking Springs, Marshall, you guys could be getting some heavy downpours. Maybe even the National Weather Service in Wilmington could be getting some heavy downpours as the day goes on. As you see in Kentucky, there's some storms, but yeah, if we continue on, see, there's going to be more tomorrow. There's going to be more thunderstorms happening in Ohio, mainly up into the Cleveland area. And then we go over Illinois. You could be seeing some more storms. Then it's just going to go down. Around 7 a.m. Wednesday, there could be some strong storms over in nearby Lexington, possibly entering Ohio for the storms in Indiana. And then, of course, like that. And then let's check on one more area. Michigan. We ain't going to forget about Michigan because Michigan's also under the gun for some severe storms. As you see, Michigan is going to have some of the storms from some of the leftovers, which could, you can see that little rotation that is trying to do right there. As you see, it's going to move on. It's going to continue rapidly intensifying as it goes into Ohio, and then there could be some more severe storms in Michigan. But I think that's pretty much it for Michigan. And then, of course, New York, you got your own thing. West Virginia could be seeing some possibly strong storms later today. I would say maybe around like 10 a.m., 12 p.m. for West Virginia. Well, let's look at my area real quick. So I know there was some severe storms supposed to happen earlier today. Apparently it didn't. But, yeah. That is pretty much all I have to say for you guys. And I hope you guys are going to be okay. If you're down in Florida for the tropical stuff, just be careful. Florida could be under the gun for some tropicalness. But it just all depends on what will happen in the next few days with the severe weather. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace out and goodbye.